Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to review Toa Solar. So starting off with the legs. The legs for Toa Solar are fairly simple, but I really like how they look. And they're unique enough, and yeah, they're well armored. There's not much to say about them, but yeah. And yeah. So for the torso, this is the more interesting part. This torso has gone through multiple redesigns in a short period of time. Yeah. But the torso design that I'm most happy with out of all of those designs is this one. Yeah, it's just the most well-armored one, and it looks nice. Although, there is a CCBS bone in there, it's not posable at all. It's a very static torso. Not really posable at all. Yeah. But it does look nice, and yeah. I mean, also, this having a bit of like blue from like a marker, I could change that for a completely like normal one without markings on it, but one, I'm too lazy to do that, and two, nope, it's just I'm lazy. So yeah, and for his right arm, it's also pretty simple. But this arm, the upper arm, is using a standard CCBS bone with a Nika foot on his armor, which is a pretty cool design in my opinion. And the lower arm here, the lower arm is a standard Metru double socket connector. I don't want to take that off, it's too difficult. With to an Nika, yeah, and just connecting two ball joints there and putting a standard Hydraxon inspired hand. And for his left arm, the upper arm for this is a custom build. It's pretty simple. It's just a socket connector and some Technic with a Metru foot there for armor. And the lower arm is using one of these like Mystica like you know those parts. Yeah. Yeah. It's also been through a little bit of changes through his time, through his existence. Yeah. But the design I'm most happy with is obviously the one that I'm using right now. Although this tends to like pop out like that, so I have to fix it constantly. It's probably just a bad part. I could swap it out for a different version of, or just a different copy of that part. Probably work better. I don't know. And same hand design, just recolored to be all black to fit the aesthetic of this mechanical arm. With one of these Technic connectors to attach the weapon to the hand. And for his wings, there's also a slight back armor. Yeah. Now for his wings, they just fold out like so. And be careful not to move the legs when doing this, because he will fall over if you're not careful. but I'm careful enough. So yeah, fold out the wings, and these pop off of the axle because they're only attached by a half axle. I'll just pause the video and put that back together. So once you fold up the wings, yeah, he's pretty wide, with the wings, like, yeah, but they look nice, and it's just a standard, like, Kopaka Fantoka wing, you know, yeah, and the head is just a simple Metro head, with a silver, I used a silver Sharpie on, sorry about that, I used a silver Sharpie on a Great Mahiki from, the Telemetru, you know, and yeah, I really like how it looks, and yeah, so, yeah. Now, for a sword, it's just a more filled out Jaller and Ica blade, or Jaller Mari blade, with a handle, so you can actually attach it to the hand. So yeah. Attaching it to the hand is simple, obviously. It's just attach this pin, like, to the Technic connector, and move it. Just break off the finger. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty simple. You just attach the thing there. You can look really badass. So, now on to height comparison. So, here he is next to Tova, and Solar is pretty tall compared, or slightly taller than you can definitely notice a difference in height between the two. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. And here he is next to Jaller Mari. Pretty similar height, actually. Yeah. That's the same sword, which is intentional. He's supposed to take inspiration from him. So, same sword makes sense. Just a brief bit of lore for him. Yeah. Here, Solar is next to Void, Queen of Makuta. And Void is probably taller. Definitely taller. Yeah, definitely taller. Which is pretty, like, it's pretty convenient, because it's nice because she's the antagonist to Solar, so yeah, the antagonist being, like, actually pretty scary and taller than the hero. Makes sense. So yeah. Here he is next to my Mirender Mock, who is slightly taller, or no, slightly shorter. Yeah. So yeah. We'll get him out of there before he kills them. Oh no. Here he is next to my Matanui. Yeah. My Matanui is slightly taller. Once again, I mix up the words. She is slightly shorter than Solar. So yeah. Yeah. And here is my Tahu, my post-Reformation Tahu mock. And yeah, my Tahu is pretty, like, is noticeably shorter than Solar. Yeah, that's it for size comparison. So, now onto the overall review of the Mach. I really like Toa Solar. He's one of my best Machs, like, genuinely. Yeah. He was also created basically as a joke. Um, yeah. I'm not gonna explain that because it's a very stupid story, but yeah. Um, he was Solar was basically created as a joke, which is funny. So yeah, like I said, I really like this Mach, and yeah. Also, the reasoning for his mechanical left arm is just because I didn't want to have to recreate this arm because of how many good parts it has, and like, those parts in Perlite Gray are too difficult for me to find in my collection. And these Technic pin connector things are also extremely difficult for me. So I didn't want to make a copy of that arm physically. But yeah. So, yeah. That'll be it. Probably see you in another 3 weeks.